Hello, welcome to our stream, our first stream of 2025.
Yeah, exactly. It's another big year of sport. Not as big as last year, but still, I do like these years though. The odd numbered years, still plenty to keep me busy. But yeah, no Olympics, which is always
Yep.
sad.
Let us know how we sound in the chat. I've changed a lot of things about how I'm streaming this new laptop, new software. So if we sound completely different levels, let me know. I'll do my best to fix it. Um, but not an Olympic year, but there's still a lot to look forward to. World Championships everywhere in a lot of different sports.
Yeah. I guess a lot of the Olympic sports will be having world champs this year, and then I suppose we're only a year away from the Winter Olympics, so a big year for all the winter sports. Their last world championships, and yeah, seeing who's a favorite for the next Olympics.
Yeah, we're in that point of the year where people are sort of trying to throw down markers, stake their claim as a contender for Winter Olympic medals. I've been a bit out of the loop, but this weekend I've finally been like, yes, I'm going to catch up with skeleton and bobsleigh.
Yeah, I've barely been across it. I know that Ashley Nelson's done a little bit of bobsleigh. That's all I
Yes,
know, really.
she made her debut in less than ideal conditions, having to with the the driver having an injured foot, so she had to do all the pushing herself. So they weren't
Yeah.
competitive, but I think she's easing into it maybe.
And who's the skeleton guy? He did a good. He did he win
Matt
a World
Weston.
Cup? Yeah, I think he
He's
won a
he's
World Cup,
won
didn't he?
he's won many. He's throwing himself down as a big contender for next year and for the World Championships this year. I suppose we'll talk about that when we get around to it.
Yeah, we've got a message in the chat already.
Ooh, how,
It's directed at me, to be fair. Hello, will there be a bold predictions episode for the Trackcasting podcast? Yes, we are recording Trackcasting on Sunday. And Dave's hopefully going to be joining us. So I've said, Dave, it's up to you. Give us some wild predictions.
still waiting for Jenna Prandini
Yeah, I think that's
to finally win that world gold.
that ship is fine. I think that ship sailed, well and truly sailed. Although you never know. Maybe she'll win a relay gold. Who knows?
Maybe it's not impossible.
Maybe.
Stranger things have happened. But yeah, we'll try making some predictions tonight. Though I've not actually prepared, or no, I've prepared one of 12 for each month. So
Okay, that's good. Because I don't think we did that last time, didn't we? We did one for each month, didn't we?
yeah,
We never actually went back and see how bad we did on those,
no, life got away from us.
but I'm sure they were pretty terrible.
But
So
yeah,
shall we start with January? I guess that's
start
already on.
with. I might have the wrong month up already. That's February. But yeah, January. We've already got two events underway because we're a bit delayed on this. Um, but yeah, Australian Open and the Winter University Games are underway at the moment.
Well, I've not been across that one, but I have been across the tennis.
Do you
Was
like
yeah, didn't get
tennis?
much. I do, as you can see from my Wimbledon accreditation behind me.
Yeah, you should try and
Yeah,
incorporate that into your work.
I really should. No, that's what's weird. It's like I booked 2 days off to watch tennis, even though I work on tennis, but we don't have the rights to the Australian Open at Sky. So it's just yeah, watching it as a fan, which is nice. So it's nice to watch some of it overnight. It was quite a good, well, it was a good night for the Brits. Four British players playing, and four of them won. So well, we're only meant to have three as well. There was a Harriet Dart was a lucky loser. Last minute call up about an hour before the match started. She found out she was playing and she won. So
I
happy
do
days.
love that about tennis, how the players will go to the slam even if they're not qualified, just hoping that there will be a space for them.
Well, that's it. It's a weird system. It's how basically obviously they all play qualifying, and
Mm.
then they have the 16 qualifiers or whatever, and then all of the ones that make the final round of qualies. Obviously, there'll be another 16 that lose because 32 will make the last round, and then of those 16, the top four ranked on seeding go into the draw for the lucky loser. So when somebody else has already pulled out, so Harriet was actually the second lucky loser. So yeah, it's a fun system, but they have to yeah. If you make the last round of qualies, you just stay on site and hope that people pull out.
I mean, it's January compared to the other months is perhaps a bit more sparse, but I suppose your focus will be on the Australian Open, so that works out well for you.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess in terms of prediction, well, I may as well do my prediction on that anyway.
Yeah.
Um, if we go in bold predictions, because I've got my predictions for the winners are quite. I mean, Sabalenka should easily win the women's, and then the men's. I have gone Alcaraz, but it could easily be Sinner. those two, I think. And then my guess my wild prediction, because that's what I've gone with the final is Sinner and Alcaraz. And then I mean my bold prediction will be that the other finalist that Sabalenka will beat will be Madison Keys, which
Oh,
is a bit left field. She's had a good start to the year and she seems to be injury free, so who knows?
well, I have. I'm just going to take a wild stab in the dark here, and I'm just going to make a random guess about the Winter University Games, having not really looked into it at all. And I'm going to say that China's going to be top of the medal table. Um,
Always a safe bet.
well, yes, but not so much in winter things. But then they are big on like age group sports, so that's my thinking. Um, but as I say, I've not looked into it at all. My focus has been getting on things sorted for this stream today, rather than actually what I was going to say.
I'm just looking in the chat. All in the game has replied again saying, "Will Ons Jabeur finally win a slam this year?" I'm going to say no. I just don't think I just don't think her body's going to let her. Is the reason. I mean, she wants to obviously, and if she is going to win one, it'll either be the French or Wimbledon. Probably Wimbledon the better chance because that is a bit more of a random. The winners of Wimbledon the last 5 years have been quite random people, so
And of course, that's
maybe
the one that she made the final back to back.
exactly. I mean, she should have won it twice already, but we won't get into that. So everyone wanted to win Wimbledon. The crowd do, and all the fans do,
Yeah,
but whether her body will let her, we'll see. But yeah, I hope so. Fingers crossed.
I hope so. Has she been injured a lot then?
Yeah, especially the last kind of year, she's kind of been really injured. So, but I mean, she played last week, and she again retired injured. But I think she'll be all right for the next. She's not like seriously injured. It's just maintaining her body and hoping she's all right. But yeah, maybe by the summer she'll be fine.
And then I guess moving on to February, it becomes a very busy month for winter sports. When we get to February, as well as athletics, we've got World Indoor Tours popping up all over the place. Um, and also on the 15th, I've not put it on here, but that's the day of the Keeley Classic in Birmingham, which seems to
Yes.
pack with Tarun. So a lot of athletics that day. But yeah, a lot to look forward to here.
Yeah, that Keely Classic, I think I literally just saw on Instagram before I opened up YouTube to watch this. I think Molly Caudry's announced for it, so
Oh,
that should be good.
yeah, I can't judge how good it will be because I feel like it's way down the sort of World Indoor Tour rankings now. I think it might be bronze. I've only
Yeah,
put
it is. Yeah,
I've only put the golds on this spreadsheet, but it's I it'll be interesting because British athletics have been putting on a very good diamond league the last few years, so maybe they can translate that over to the indoors again.
yeah. I mean, obviously we want the big one back, don't we? That's the one we want. The big kind of indoor Grand Prix because the last one they held there was like the final of the indoor tour. It was amazing.
Yeah,
So it'd be
and
nice to
then
go back to that because it's always the best one day meet in the world, I think, and it's always well attended. So, but it's just
and
a money
then
thing, isn't it?
yeah, just so happened that after that, Birmingham City Council and British Athletics seemed to find themselves with no money.
Yes, which is a real shame.
Yes,
But no, I'm looking forward to the Geely Classic actually. It should be good. I put my name in the hat for some commentary. If I think Vinco are negotiating rights for it at the moment, so
I might try and
but
get.
that was before I knew it was called that. It was it was before this Geely thing happened. It was already down as a Continental Tour bronze thingy, whatever, indoor tour bronze.
Yeah, it's
So
interesting branding. I don't love the classic spout with a K, um, but but still, I'm glad to see that athletics. Hopefully, some good international indoor athletics will be back in Birmingham.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Other than that, we've got a lot of world championships in winter sports in February. We've got the Luge World Championships, alpine skiing, biathlon, and the start of the Nordic Skiing World Championships, so ski jumping and cross country skiing.
Of which I know very little about.
And then also the Asian Winter Games, just to throw confusion in there, and European Track Cycling Championships. So it's going to be, if you've got some spare time to sit in front of the TV in February, it's going to be a good month.
Yeah, I guess the usual things like the Super Bowl as well.
Yeah,
That's usually first week of well, second week of Feb now, isn't it?
yeah. Something
Who's
we love.
who? It's always for me. It's like who's doing the halftime show, and I just remembered it's Kendrick Lamar. He's doing it this year. So that'll be all right. And then, yeah, sorry, just another question in the chat. Will Keely break Chet Black's 800-meter world record? What do you think?
What is the indoor?
One, yeah, yeah, it's 155, I think.
If she's held her fitness, it seems like it should be within her grasp.
Yeah, I
Um,
think so, especially indoors where I feel like you can kind of pace yourself a little better with it being a two lap, 200-meter track. So I feel like she's strong enough to do it. So yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
that's.
whether it'll be at a meet before the champs or if it'll be at the champs, I don't know.
I guess the thing is, if it were to happen in Birmingham, the question would be, uh, my main concern would be, does she go out too hard? Because there would be a very partisan crowd hoping that she does it. But she has shown herself to be a very smart racer, knowing her
Yeah,
pace, particularly last year.
yeah, exactly. And she is strong. She's strong, isn't she? She's not like she's not someone who ties up very often. So
Mm.
yeah, why not? Yeah, I mean that was one of the greatest indoor races ever when that record went. I mean, it was Chet Black and Graf, so let's not say it was the cleanest race, but it was a great race to watch because it was in Austria. Because they'd already given Graf the gold medal basically, and Chet Black just wouldn't let her, like led for a gun to tape almost, and wouldn't let her win. It was great. Watch it on YouTube if you have a spare minute, a spare 1 minute 55.
But my prediction for this month, you mentioned the Super Bowl. My prediction is that the Kansas City Chiefs will do the three-peat in the Super Bowl. They are in the playoffs at the
Yeah.
moment. I think this weekend they're playing the Houston Texans to make their way through, so it's possible. Given their form, I don't know much about American football. I saw it once in London, uh, but I just thought that would be a fun
I think it's a
prediction.
safe bet actually. To be fair, I think it's not a it's pretty. They are like you say they are pretty good. So the
Yeah,
three Pete is on.
and yeah, and it's never been done before. Um, Several
Yeah.
teams have done the double, but never three in a row. So now's their chance.
I will go for. Obviously, I'm a big fan of skiing, so I'll go for the Alpine World Champs, which that's probably the thing I'm looking forward to most in February is the World Champs because we haven't had one obviously for 2 years.
Yep.
So I always find that like last year was always a bit of a not a pointless year, but it is a bit like, what are you doing, guys? What's going on? And obviously with the Olympics next year, I feel like this is the last one that you really need to focus on.
Mm.
So what will be my prediction? Well, given the results of the weekend, I'm going to go that Lindsay Vonn is going to win a medal probably in the downhill because she was what, fourth or fifth? She was fourth and sixth in two races this weekend. So I mean, it's the fact that she's like, 40 now and she's come out of retirement, having, because she retired 6 years ago in 2019 at the World Champs, and to have that's a long time out for a skier. And I think a lot of people were questioning why she's come back, but then her performances at the weekend, because she started off doing a few right back end of last year and stuff, and the results weren't anything amazing. But then this last weekend, it was like, oh, okay, you're back, kind of thing. And to see her, and she was surprised as well, I think, as anyone. So yeah, I mean, if she carries on like that, and the downhill being so unpredictable as it is, on her day, she can easily win a medal at that. I mean, she did it the last world in her last race, didn't she? So yeah, that'd be good. And I mean, I guess in terms of other medals, obviously we're always hoping Dave Riding's gonna win a medal, but you never know. Um,
I'm sort of
yeah,
thinking like I'll let him. My hopes aren't necessarily that he wins a medal in these World Championships. I'm hoping next year that we'll see an
well, yeah,
Olympic medal.
obviously he'd prefer next year as well, but
Yeah,
if because he's one of the things in it because he's just getting so old now. He's like he's comfortably the oldest going, and he's just I guess Marcel Hirsch has come back now as well, hasn't he? So
but
maybe
he
not.
doesn't
But
seem to be doing like showing in his results.
who Hirsch or Riding?
Riding.
Yeah, I mean he didn't have a great race at the weekend. I mean last week in Italy, but because he did all right, he got on the podium there last year. But then he usually gets one podium a year, doesn't he, in the World Cup?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not too worried. But like you say, it's one of those things because he's so old and he's kind of only got found the form in the last what 7 or 8 years. So he's always been it's just a late bloomer, isn't he? So you can hope he'll hang on and maybe one day he'll have his day at the championships. But other than that, I don't know. I've not followed it too much yet because I guess the ski season's not properly hit yet. the next couple of weekends we've got the big ones, haven't we? So like Kitzbühel and Wengen and all those other ones, and the night slalom in Schladming, that's all still to come. So, but I guess yeah, the big news is Lindsey Vonn coming back, and then the slalom. Rydin thought he'd got rid of Hirscher. He's back, although hasn't raced it too well yet. And then obviously the Lucas Brathen's come back as well, who retired surprisingly last year at the age of like 22. So he's back now, but he's representing Brazil. So that's quite cool for them to have, someone who's winning World Cups and stuff. So and he's back. He's already gone straight back pretty much to the top. So yeah, he's another one who's going to be a big factor. So I won't be surprised to see him on the podium as well.
Yeah, I actually find it funny that he didn't choose to represent Brazil sooner.
Yeah,
Just thinking, if you're not
that's the thing. I
Norwegian
know.
born,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, obviously he's obviously kind of Norwegian, so but with a parent like that, you may as well give it a go. But then
for
there's
me,
also
he's
the
Brazilian enough. Like he did grow up in Brazil for a bit.
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's definitely 50-50 really, isn't he?
yeah,
But I guess he was always good enough to be in the Norwegian team. But then that was one of the reasons why he retired first time around because he was fed up with the Norwegian system. But I think he also was a bit jaded, and it was all a bit too much too soon when he was quite young. So he had a break, and then realised he missed it. And then I thought, well, I may as well go back and do it my own way with Brazil. And we see it a lot, don't we? A lot of different nationalities. They race with their parents. Like there's the other Norwegian guy, Atle Lee McGrath, who's actually Well, he's kind of American, but he did grow up in Norway. But you're like, you got a better chance of making the American team, maybe. But he's staying with Norway.
I guess it depends how much support funding they get from the system.
Yeah,
I suppose America doesn't
yeah,
really
a
support
lot
it.
more in Norway.
Yeah. Moving on to March, still plenty of uh, winter sports here. We've also got the Special Olympics, Winter World Games. I think I forgot to mention in February we've got the first ever Winter Invictus Games held in Vancouver and Whistler. So it'll be interesting to see how they shape out and compare to their summer counterpart. But then bobsleigh and skeleton in March. We've got curling, Women's World Championships, short track speed skating, long track speed skating on the same weekend for some peculiar reason, and a smattering of athletics as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that for us, it's the main thing is the indoor athletics season culminating not in one championships. We've got two championships
Yeah,
this year, so
and you and
they
I are
still.
going to neither of them, strangely.
I know, unusual. Yeah, yeah. When was the last time? I guess obviously Turon was like a COVID champs,
Yeah,
but I can't. That'll be my first since what 2017 that I've not
17.
been to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it hit me the other day that oh wait, I went to 3 consecutive World Indoors.
And
Um,
then we're not that bothered about going to Nanjing, so
it's
um,
it's more that I don't have the money to go that far.
yeah, true. But yeah, European indoors is first then, first week of March.
Which I
So
think is
again,
the right way round. It allows them to
yeah,
build towards the bigger
definitely.
one.
And having a 2 week gap is very sensible. So
Yes.
that, yeah, I mean, there's people. Jake Whiteman is one of the people who wants to do both. I think Mondo wants to do both as well. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see who does double up and who try and maybe just focus on one. I guess the Dutch are more obviously going to focus on the Europeans, but then will Femke fancy going to Nanjing as well? Don't know.
I'd say that if she does something impressive in Appledorn, then there'd be, I think it would be difficult to not sit there and think, well, what if I do go? And if she was sat on the sideline thinking, yeah, I should be there and winning medals. She's not one to shy away from a competition.
No, exactly, and she will obviously go for it in Appledorn because that's where she set the world record first time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because in the chat we've had a question. Femke to run sub 49 this year
Ooh,
indoors.
ooh, that's
I mean, in that venue with a Dutch crowd, because she obviously doesn't get to compete at home very often, and that's what yeah, with the memories of where she's set the world record first time, I don't see why not. Actually, I don't. Yeah, why not?
yeah. I mean, history suggests it's a fast track, even if it is inside a velodrome. Um, and I mean, I know that there will be seats over a lot of the cycling tracks, so the crowd will still be close to them. Um,
But
yeah,
will the
this
velodrome? Does the velodrome help though? Do you think with the like air temperature and all that stuff? Because it's built for cycling, whether it'll be quicker?
possibly because it's a decent velodrome as well. It's held the World Championships a number of times. Um,
Yeah.
So possibly. Um, I say it's
I'm
definitely on
intrigued
the
to
realm of
see.
possibility. I don't want to commit to anything.
Yeah, no, I'm intrigued to see how it's going to work. But I'm going to be in California for the whole thing, so I'm not sure how
Oh,
much of it I'll see. I mean, what time of day will that be for me then? Trying to work it out. I guess it'll be early morning, won't it?
is that Indian Wells?
Yes, Indian Wells.
Have,
So yeah, I need to work out how I'm going to watch it, to be honest. I hadn't thought about that.
and is that for? Did you say for both of them or just for Europeans?
Just for the Europeans. I
Will
think
you play for the
Nanjing
Worlds?
might, yeah, I'll be back home for the Worlds, which actually might work out better because it's kind of in the morning anyway, isn't it? Because I'm going to be, yeah.
Yeah,
Is
the
it 10
evening
o'clock in the
sessions will
morning?
be
Oh,
in the. Oh
yeah.
yeah, I see what. Yeah,
So
yeah.
that kind of makes sense that I shouldn't, because I'll be working on Miami tennis. So I guess I'll be finishing and then maybe watch in the morning. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll be coming home from work to watch the morning session and then just not sleeping. Who knows?
I'm thinking to make a wild prediction for this month. I'm going to steer away from athletics because I feel like we don't know anything about how people, what sort of form people are in yet. So I'm going to go skeleton. I'm going to say Matt Weston for gold at the World Championships in Lake Placid.
I like that. I like that a lot. I, again, it's hard to predict because we don't know who's doing what, but I am going to go for a European indoor medal for Jacob Fincham Dukes. That's
Oh,
my
I'd like to see
that's
it.
my prediction. Oh well, or just say an indoor medal. If he's going to any of the any of the champs, a medal at either of them,
Like
because
well,
you feel like it's attainable.
yeah, European feels more
Yeah,
attainable, but then he's been showing a lot of consistency at global championships.
yeah. We need to write all these down, don't we?
Yeah, I'll go
So I
back
can
through
remember
it.
what I said.
Then moving on to April, and we have the start of Grand Slam track, which I'm
Yes.
doing all I possibly can to not be cynical about, because I think I'm just still a bit aggrieved by the fact that they're not trying with field whatsoever.
Yeah, that is the kind of annoyance, but I don't mind for year one for it to be like this. I'm okay. I'm open-minded about it. And it's
Yeah,
amazing how much it's kind of already spread out to the wider world. Because one of my friends who doesn't even watch athletics asked me the other day, "Oh, well, has that Michael Johnson thing happened yet?" And I was like, "How do you know about that?" So it's the fact that it's reaching non-sports fans is already quite impressive.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely, from what I can tell, it's an event that's being catered to American audiences. The fact that uh, they're all being held in North America, um, and that it is so focused on track. I don't know so much about American sort of television, so maybe it will be what we need, and at least the field isn't being ignored because there is no field.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is off the back of Sprint. It just makes sense to use those stars from the Netflix show to be in, and like obviously there's more distance. It would be interesting to see how if the next series of Sprint follows this, and then maybe introduces a few more of the different athletes from different events on the track, because that's the natural progression for that show. It's just a build up to like hurdles and distance before introducing field. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Because that first one, yeah, is it first weekend of April, isn't it? Um, so that's in Jamaica. So we'll see.
I've got more faith in Jamaica because there is an athletics going public there. There is already that culture, so I think that might be a solid start. It just depends whether it transfers over to Miami, Philadelphia, and LA
Well, Miami, I think Miami will be fine
because
because it's
it's
the same
tiny
weekend as the
stadium.
F1, but it's the same weekend as the F1, and I think that's why they've done it. They picked that weekend because it's like hopefully some F1 drivers will go to the athletics and vice versa.
Hmm, be interesting if they did.
I mean, I guess a lot of athletes have been to the F1 races since the Olympics. I mean, most of them. I mean, well, not most of them, but like Mondo, Tamberi, Gabby Thomas, Dina, Leo Neugebauer, they've all been to Grand Prix in the last few months. So it'd be interesting to see. I think maybe someone like if Lewis. I mean, I don't know if Lewis Hamilton will go, but he does know a bit about track and field. So
Yeah, he's
maybe
friends with
if
Shakari, so
exactly, and who does he follows a lot of niche athletes on Instagram.
does
Try to remember who does he? Yeah, I try to remember who he follows, like British sprinters. I think he might follow like Bianca Williams or someone like that. But yeah,
he? Comment in the chat. 3-day Grand Slam track meets with a 3-hour broadcast window per day means that there'll be a lot of downtime with no field events. Yep, I'm not sure how interesting that will be, at least from my perspective. But I imagine that the intention is just to allow the broadcasters to chat away and build up every race as best they can. I mean, the build up in that Cast and Mondo race a few months ago was made it super exciting. So maybe it will pay off.
Yeah, I think it'll be more like the Athlos thing that Alexis Ohanian did, which again was a lot of filler. They dragged it out, but at the same time, you didn't feel like you didn't mind watching the analysis and the chat because you knew you weren't missing anything. Whereas obviously you're normally like, there's a shot put right
Yeah,
behind you.
yeah, you're
Stop
just sort of
talking. So it's nice
yeah
to
trying to glean what you can see over
yeah.
Lewis's shoulder.
So I'm interested to see how they're going to present it because I don't know if it's going to be broadcast on TV. Is it going to be on YouTube? Is that the deal? I think I'm not
I've
sure it's
no
been
idea.
announced yet. I think the initial plan was that it was going to be like on YouTube, so that which would be better because then everyone can watch it. I think that's the whole point is that it's going to be free and open and everyone can watch it. And then if obviously Michael Johnson, you're assuming is going to be a pundit, and then depends who they get to host it because the Athlos thing was all right. The presenters weren't. So when the presenter asked Gail Devers how proud she was that Shikari won the Olympics, and Gail Devers was like, "She came second, but let's try." Um, but then the fact they had Gail Devers as a pundit was like, okay, I'll take that. So
Yeah,
let's hopefully it's more along that lines where they're actually doing if they're going to do coverage in between these long gaps, assuming there are long gaps, then fill it with big name legends like that.
and then also away from athletics on the calendar in April, we've got the Grand National and the boat race. So two of the sort of big sort of one-offs of the British sporting calendar.
I'm going to say, is that your prediction's going to be the boat race?
I think so. I know that
50-50?
before when we did this, we separated the boat race, but this month looks so wide open that. um,
Yeah.
and then also, I think that the 27th of April is going to be quite an important date for you, Chris.
Yes. And that's what we should predict. What is going to be my London Marathon finishing time? I'm
Oh,
making my marathon debut. Me and Alex Yee making our debuts at the London Marathon.
you're
Maybe
going to be
that's a
running at the same
prediction.
pace.
How many hours is Alex Yee going to be ahead of me? I reckon. Oh no, actually maybe that should be my goal. I need to finish within 2 hours of Alex Yee. That's my goal.
Or you could do it as like a less than double.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Depends how
Yeah.
it
I mean,
depends how ambitious you're feeling. I don't know.
training hasn't properly started in earnest yet, so I need to gauge how fast I'm going. But I never know how you do it. Do you do? Because obviously, when I do my half marathons, I'm going at a faster pace because it's a shorter distance. So you gotta. I mean, I'm aiming for 4 hours. That's the dream, but that's a lot. Just getting round is the goal.
Okay, well I'll steer away from judging what you can do, and I'll just be supportive of you and hope you can get what you want. And yeah, I'll keep a
Yes.
prediction to the boat race. I'll say Cambridge will win both the men's and women's elite.
Okay. Nice. I guess I'll have to go. I'm gonna have to go for London Marathon then. Not me, but maybe I'll go Alex Yee. Maybe what can I reckon? Can he go sub two? What can he do? 210,
I thought you were going to say sub two. I was like, oof.
No, not sub two. No, he's not that quick. Um, it's hard to gauge with the bouncy shoes and what he's because he's obviously good. He did a good half. No, he did a good 10K, didn't he, at the weekend? So I'm gonna say he will run to 12 for his debut. That's my prediction. I'm being a little bit safe there.
Yeah. I don't know how we measure if we take that off or not, but
The chat suggesting that because last year a guy had a glass of wine at every mile on the London Marathon, I will not be doing that because I definitely wouldn't finish.
I think I read about that and that his it was because it was a different wine each mile, and that I think that he was a bit shocked that they got a bit stronger as it went on.
Yeah, it should. Well, I guess is that better to be that way or not? I don't know.
Don't know.
I mean, you don't want to be too drunk at the start. The one I remember did the Great North Run when I've done that. There's a pub at the top of that hill before they go down the hill and then onto the seafront, and that's the pub because it's like you're only like a mile and a half away from the finish. So there used to be people holding out pints. Like, come on, you may as well neck a pint. You've only got a mile to go.
It's like turning the beer mile into a beer marathon.
Yes, well, yeah, exactly.
And then yeah, also curling mixed doubles world championships. I could have made a random guess about that, but I find that they're so um,
Random anyway, aren't they?
yeah, you don't know what sort of pairs are going to form. And then into May, we've got more Grand Slam track, Miami slash Miramar, because it's not really in Miami, it's quite a way out.
So yeah, where exactly is it in relation? So I'm just trying to think
Like
where it is in relation to the tennis. Never look.
it's it's even further north than the tennis,
Okay.
um, which and even though it's Miami, that's Miami Gardens, which is quite a ways out of the city, from what I understand.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there it is. It's not mid. It is quite because it is quite north, but it's not too far from the tennis. I don't think.
Yeah.
What's the actual name of the venue? Do we
Well,
know?
the Miramar middle of a hurricane track. It's not. I can't think of it, but it's a small venue. I'm a bit surprised that they added it to this. Where I was, the other venues are quite big and historic, and this one's a bit.
Is it
Maybe a
called
small track.
the Ansim Sports Complex? Maybe it's that one.
Maybe I didn't commit it to memory. But it's also interesting that we've got Diamond League in Suzhou, just outside Shanghai in China, on that day. So there's going to be
Yeah.
sort of seeing them compete and seeing. Obviously, we know the athletes who are already going to be in the
Yeah, we
Grand
know
Slam
who's not
track.
going to be there.
Yeah. But then, yeah, that's part of a bit of a run of Chinese meetings with the what was the month before? It starts in Xiamen in April, and then after that we've got the World Relays in Guangzhou. So it's for those who do go out there, there might be a good reason to sort of stick out in China for a few weeks, and it seems reasonably well scheduled, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I just checked. Yeah, it's about a 15-minute drive to get from the F1 to the athletics. So hopefully there'll be a bit of crossover because obviously they'll be there for the same 3 days doing the F1. So whether I don't know, I guess it's in the evening the athletics. I don't know. I've not even looked at when time of day it's on.
I presume it's in the evening. I presume the idea is to try and get a prime time audience, but I'm not certain on that.
So that might work if you've got Friday night athletics and the F1 practice is finished by like 3 or 4 o'clock. But we'll see.
And yeah, got a question. Will strong teams go to World Relays this year? Um,
Is
I
it a
think
qualifier for Worlds?
I'm just trying to think what's at stake. I think there must be something.
It must be
Um,
qualifier for Worlds because I don't think Olympic qualification counts for Worlds, does it? It's usually the other way
no.
around.
Um,
I don't think if you're top eight at the Olympics, if that would count for Worlds because they're separate kind of things. But yeah, I don't know.
let's see.
You Google that, and I'll.
Uh,
And with that being
um,
in China, I guess yeah, it's going to be interesting. Because like you say, with the Diamond League being in China the week before, whether those that are doing Grand Slam track will then want to do the World Relays. It's a lot of travel.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, those who would be sort of more competing on the Diamond League circuit might have a bit of an advantage there. And yeah, being sort of a whole continent away out off in North America for Grand Slam track may dissuade some of the best. But yeah, it does say uh, Guangzhou welcoming the world's best sprinters as countries compete for relay places at the World Athletics Championships Tokyo 25. So World Championship places up for grabs, I guess.
Yeah, yes, but yeah, that's the. I mean, it makes it worthwhile. Not like I'm saying it was a namby-pamby event, but
Yeah,
it's it's got to have some kind of gravitas to it for people to, in the real world, to care.
yeah, it's a funny one because it's obviously it's held earlier in the season, although it tends to be more April. So I think they have shuffled it about a bit.
I guess because the Worlds is a month later, isn't it? So
Yeah,
everything's just gone back a bit.
and Diamond League's in Doha and Rabat. I believe it's back in Rabat this year. They were
Yeah,
reconstructing the stadium last year,
yeah, I
so
think
it
it
was
is.
in Marrakesh.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it is back in Rabat from what I've read as well. Um, Yeah, end of the month's a bit. This is I feel. I always feel like this is when it gets into silly season.
Yeah.
Like back end of May, you're like, okay, this is where my life just I lose. It's just sport between now and the end of September, really. So yeah, from then on, that's when it gets stuck in.
Yep. We've got both the men's and women's Champions League finals. We've got Gymnastics European Championships in Leipzig on the same week as Rowing European Championships. Gertsis being that weekend straddling May into June. So it's gonna it's, get ready to have a few screens out.
Yep. Yeah, I think. And I was trying to find out when the game to the small states of Europe was, and all I could find was it might start on the 15th of May, so it might be that weekend before. Well, yeah, that quite a quieter weekend actually.
Okay, well I forgot about that one, but I'll try adding it to it
If
after
that is right,
this.
yeah, that's not confirmed, but that will be
Yeah.
in Andorra. But yeah, and then that 31st of May and the 1st of June is a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
But thankfully, they had the common sense to leave Eurovision Saturday the 17th free.
Yes, exactly. Now what I don't know what's my prediction going to be for this. Do I go world relays? Do I go tennis? What are you going to do? What are you going to predict?
I was going to say something about the Women's Champions League, but I'm going to predict a team that's already been knocked out.
Yeah, I don't know much about what that's going to be.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go um, Men's Champions League, and because Arsenal are doing well in the table stage at the moment, I'm going to say Arsenal to win the Men's Champions League.
Okay,
It's a
interesting.
stupid prediction, but let's manifest it. Unless you,
Um,
sorry to people who don't like Arsenal.
I don't know if I'll go with a tennis one because even though it technically doesn't finish in May, does it? With the French Open, but I just don't know what else I'd say for.
You're cool. We've got
Let's
something to
yeah, I'll
say for
go.
June.
Yeah, well, that's it exactly. There might be more in June, so let's go. Um, who's going to win? Well, we know who's going to win the French, don't we? Really, it's going to be the same clay people. Iga's probably going to win the women's. Like she always does, and then I guess Alcaraz probably is the favourite to win that. Unless I go for another bold prediction, I'm going to go for women. I'm going to go women's finalist. Losing finalist will be Mira Andreeva
Oh,
from the teenage Russian. That's my prediction. She's good on the clay. Having going to have a good year, I think. So that's my bold prediction for the French Open.
it's
Well, it
still
depends how the draw goes, because if she's in the same half of the draw as Iga, that's not going to happen.
yeah.
But she'll make semis at least.
It still kind of shocks me when I hear Russian. I forget that in tennis there are Russians permitted to compete as kind of neutrals.
Yes, they don't. There are no flags allowed.
And then, oh yeah, we've got the end of that crazy weekend on the 1st of June, and the French Open, and then a lot of Diamond Leagues, a lot of we've got some Grand Slam track, which also clashes with the European Team Championships, um, which I think is a bit
Yes,
of a shame because that always gets overlooked.
but then I mean, how many Europeans are in Grand Slam track? Really? I mean, we're going to lose. I mean, would Darryl Neita, Matt Hudson-Smith, and Josh Kerr actually done Euro Team champs? Probably not. We've got
No,
enough depth in those events anyway. Um, so to come back to the chat, the prediction could be a big team name, not a big team, not to make all the possible relay teams at the World Relays, kind of like I guess like Jamaica did. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's gonna. Maybe the Dutch. I'm gonna say maybe the Dutch 4x4 team, the men. I can see them having another
yeah, they're not. I don't think
iffy
they're as
year.
well drilled as the women.
So, but yeah, yeah, June. Yeah, we've got say lots of Diamond Leagues. Maybe I'll go for a Euro Team Champs prediction
And I think
in.
what I need to. We've also got the start of Wimbledon, which I've not properly added to the
Yeah,
spreadsheet.
well, it's only one day in June.
Yeah.
So very first time it started in June for a long time. So it's just the way the calendar's fallen this year. I'm going to go with a prediction for Euro Team Champs that are Ireland in Division Two?
Yes.
Okay, they're going to get promoted. That's my prediction for the Euro Team Champs. They're going to be promoted to the top tier of European athletics.
Okay. I think I'll say. Wait, is the men's. I assume the men's pole vault will be in Stockholm. but I want to. Well, I'll say it
I mean,
broadly.
yeah, they'd
We've got
mad, they'd be mad not to.
yeah. I'll say Mondo to break uh, a world record at the Stockholm Diamond League, whatever the world record is at that
Oh,
point.
come on! I was going to say you may as well give us a name number, aren't you? Because you can think how many times can he break it before then? Will it be the 630? Will he be there by then?
I'm
If
gonna
he
say
breaks,
six two
say he
nine,
does,
629.
if he does six, he could do 627 at European indoors, 628 at World indoors, 629 at one of the earlier Diamond Leagues, and then save the 630 for his home meet.
I'm gonna say 629. I'll stay with that. I won't go as
Okay,
crazy as 630 just yet.
he'll save that for Tokyo.
Absolutely. And then July being absolutely chaotic. We've got the continuation of Wimbledon. We've got the Women's European Football Championships starting. We've got World Aquatics Championships, World University Games, F1, and some Diamond League on my birthday weekend as well.
Oh, oh, it's not your
It's
actual, when's your actual
always
birthday?
the 20th. It's always my birthday
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah, but yeah, it's not your actual birthday this year because I remember when it was.
Everyone
um,
forgot. I think 2 people said happy birthday to me.
so yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, obviously it's a busy month. Um, yeah, the World Aquatics is in Singapore, isn't it?
Yeah, which will
Interesting.
be. I hope it's well attended. It's sort of interesting that it's going to a new place. I've noticed that there's a lot of World Championships this year that are in kind of um,
Hmm.
unusual places, places trying to sort of break into new areas of the world.
I guess because it's that year after the Olympics, it's a bit different, and a lot of nations will be like, "Oh, we've done well in this event," or we'll try and pull some support after maybe a potential medal at the previous Olympics. Um, yeah, lots of diamond leagues. I mean, who's going to win? Who's going to win Gotsis? I guess you could have that as a prediction. Because that no,
That's
well, then
Talon's there.
that's oh sorry, yeah, sorry, Talents, yeah, can't even read. Um, and then we've got Monaco Diamond League. There's usually world records there.
Yeah,
I don't know make any aquatics predictions. I don't think. I don't know if because it's hard to. Well, maybe I should, unless. But then I always want to go with the tennis one because Wimbledon is the most unpredictable at the moment. So maybe you should have an aquatics prediction.
yeah. I don't want to commit to swimming though. I'm kind of thinking I might say I'm tempted to say something about China and the diving and whether or not they'll do a sweep because they did the sweep at the Olympics for the first time.
Hmm. Yeah.
So can they do that again? I'm going to say they will be 1 gold short.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. I was thinking the same. They do usually miss one, but they say they got it right in Paris. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to guess who's going to do what in the aquatics at the moment, especially with everyone. I guess everyone will target this one because it feels like we haven't had a proper Worlds for a while with COVID delays and people focusing on the Commonwealth and other things.
Yeah, the schedule because of course we had a worlds in like February of last year
Yeah.
because it was in an Olympic year. It was very mixed quality field.
Um, I guess I will go with Wimbledon and predict. Yeah, who is going to win the women's title this year? Because it's different every year now, it seems. I'm not going to go with Jabeur, even though we've kind of said that.
Yeah,
Who's going to do well on grass this year? Um, or maybe I
actually,
could
I
go
did.
with a British player, maybe doing well.
So I did consider a another prediction, which was, but you might complain it's too unspecific, but that there would be a British singles player in the semi-finals.
At Wimbledon.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just thinking of something like that. I
you can
was
claim
going to
that
say
if
we'd
you
have
want.
a no. I was going to say we're going to have a male and a female in the quarterfinals of the singles, one each. But maybe that's a bit of a stretch. So maybe I'll do that. Yeah, we'll have a. I mean, we have. Yeah, I guess it's only been what 3 years since we had a Brit in the semis. So I mean, it's more likely now. We've got depth, a little bit of depth anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure Bolter will make a semi, but obviously Draper should. So yeah, I'm actually no. I think I'll go with mine. I'm gonna go with the two make the quarters.
Okay.
prediction. I think Draper could make the quarters, and I think Raducanu or Bolter could make the quarters.
Yeah. I mean, when I was thinking of the semis, I was thinking, yeah, Draper being the most likely and Raducanu, depending on what sort of fitness she's in.
Yeah, I mean, she should have made the quarters last year, but didn't
Yeah.
happen.
Um,
Losing to a qualifier.
Another question in the chat. Speaking of Gertsis, with Nafi and KJT now 30 and 31, should they commit to their strongest event to prolong their careers or carry on in the heptathlon until LA 28? I'd say for Nafi, she's won 3 consecutive golds. She's done something unprecedented. Why at the Olympics? Go for another.
Yeah, I agree. I think both of them should carry on with the HEP. I
Yeah.
don't know what they'd gain from doing an individual event. I think because again, it could be they could still be the top two by then, but then you've obviously got Anna Hall chasing at them and being a home games for her. We could have the all three of them again. Obviously, maybe those two kind of past their peak, but you don't know. I mean, yeah, it's a brutal event, but if they manage their bodies well, yeah, it could be again an amazing heptathlon. It feels like Paris was better than we expected, so why not? Why
Yeah.
not have another one in LA?
And yeah, I suppose with Kat is that she's become much more all-rounded. Where sort of earlier in her career
Yeah.
she was much more. Oh, she was really good at the high jump and really good at the long jump. She's reined that in, but then compensated for that with vast improvements in the shot put and javelin. So I think she's probably best to sort of keep on this trajectory.
Do we think she will carry on to LA? Because she's kind of hinted she hadn't committed, has she? She said she'd definitely do this year, and then probably next year because of the home champs and stuff. But then you think could she retire in Birmingham? Maybe, but then you're like, oh, you're only
Possibly, but
2
she
years
seems to be
away.
enjoying it more than I've ever
Yeah.
really seen her enjoy it before.
If she gets another injury, I think that might be the end of it. Because if she gets injured again, she might be like, I can't be bothered now.
Yeah,
But But then if she's fit, and then you've got what Beijing 2027, that she might want to banish some demons there of 2015, which would be
yeah.
quite a nice little kind of like if that's her last Worlds, that would be a nice little full circle moment. And then yeah, go to LA and yeah, why not? Fifth Olympics, why not?
It's actually crazy to think that yeah, this was her 4th Olympics and finally getting on that podium.
I know it's ridiculous. Um, okay, so we've
So,
yeah we've done our predictions for July, haven't we?
yeah.
Let's
Do
crack on to
but do you
August.
think? What do you think of England's chances in the women's Euros?
Um, I think we're always a favourite for the final, if not the favourite overall. So yeah, why not? Yeah, we're gonna win it. That's what I'm gonna
it's,
say. We're gonna
it's
win it.
it's staying home is what it is.
Yes, yeah, why not? We are good. So yeah, that's my prediction.
And then moving on to August, we've got the closing days of the World Aquatics Championships. Then we've got one of the first potential windows for national championships. Is that the one that the British one is going to be on?
Yeah, it's the first weekend of August.
Okay. So heading
That
to Birmingham, finally back at the revamped Alexander Stadium.
yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased it's that weekend because it suits me better. So thank you, British Athletics.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah, so that should be fun. Yeah, I say in Birmingham.
and then series of Diamond Leagues. We've got the Canoe Sprint World Championships. I realise I've never put on the canoeing World Championships before, but having gone to canoeing in Paris, I'm like, yes, it's amazing.
Yeah, again, it's really August is quite thin at the start of the month, and then it does kind of ramp up, I guess, because athletics is a bit later. It's kind
Yeah,
of
I suppose
drifting into.
that's part of it. Is kind of the area that they'd often keep free to not compete, and then it all just sort of stacks up.
And obviously, we have the Diamond League finals before the World Champs, which I think is the best way to do it. Um, what am I going to predict here? Again, I might just go tennis again because I want to obviously save athletics for September. So, US Open. What can I predict for the US Open? That's a bit more predictable, really. Well, it has been the last few years.
Well, while you think, I'll also do an event that sort of straddles the months, and I'll say England to win the Women's Rugby World Cup. They've made think it's four consecutive final, something big. The final will be at Twickenham. Not won the title since 2015, but English Rugby are hoping to sell out Twickenham and hoping that it will have the same sort of impact as the Women's Euros in 2022 did. So if that's I think the intention that England will be winning, and I think that they're in a decent position to do so at the moment.
Yeah, nice. It's a yeah, good prediction. Um, I'm gonna go US Open. We're going to repeat what we had this last year, and we're going to have a British winner of the juniors.
Okay, who was it last year?
So, Mika Stojanovic. She's a Stojsavljevic, but she's only 15, so she could win it again. She's old enough. And then we had another go in the semi-finals, and we had another one in the quarterfinals. So there's a lot of depth on the women's side and the juniors.
Exciting. I hope it holds through to the seniors.
The chat has been saying, yeah, England are bigger favourites in the rugby than in the Euros, in the women's Euros, the football.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, they probably are, aren't they? So
Yeah, of
um,
course they lost to New Zealand last time, but New Zealand were on home soil with the sold out Eden Park on their side. So maybe
but yes,
the tables will turn.
yeah. So yeah, we'll see. But yes, so apparently Spain are heavy favourites for the women's football, but I don't know. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Who
England
knows?
have a good record.
Yes, of course. Yeah, Spain being world champions at the moment, and England/Britain missed out on qualification for the Olympics in football um, because of not doing well in the Nations League, narrowly missing out.
Yeah, that was a shame. Um, okay, September is going to be
Chaos.
all. Yeah, well, yeah, it is. We've got athletics in Japan.
Yes. I've been a bit nervous about this year because we've got um, the biggest outdoors being held in Tokyo and the world indoors being held in Nanjing. So I'm a bit like, are we
We've
tempted
done this,
fate?
but we did this 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and it didn't
Oh,
happen.
yeah. But no, I'm really excited for this. You and I are both planning on going to Japan as we plan to go in 2020, and I'm feeling like this will be the full circle of things
Yeah,
being fixed in a way.
yeah, exactly. So no, I'm looking forward to it. It should be good champs. As we mentioned, there's a lot. Well, I guess the tennis and the rugby is still going on. Then we've got the athletics, and then, like you say, afterwards it gets a bit crazy after that, doesn't it?
Yep,
We've got
we've got
rowing and cycling.
cycling, and the cycling's one of the ones in a bit of an interesting area in Rwanda, Kigali. I think it's the
Yeah,
first time it's ever been held in Africa. Um,
yeah, I think you're right. And they've got a decent team in Rwanda.
yeah.
A few riders.
In some ways, I'm a bit surprised that Eritrea wasn't the first to host the cycling, but they are both towards the top of the
Hmm.
strong cycling nations.
Yeah, exactly. Um, okay, what's our world's prediction? I guess we're both going to do a world's prediction, aren't we? We kind of have to.
Yes.
Um, what's gonna be a big bold prediction for the world champs?
So it depends. Like I was going to say, maybe make a comment on Femke and Sydney, but then I'm like, which event is Sydney going to do?
Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm.
Let's go. I want to go with a prediction for the host nation. That's not winning the women's javelin
Okay.
because I think that's a bit too safe.
Men's
Although the
high
women's javelin
hurdles.
is unpredictable. That's what I was thinking. I think they might. I was going to say they're gonna sneak on the podium in the men's high hurdles. Is my prediction. I don't know which one because they've got a couple now, haven't they? That are decent. Or maybe I'll just be open up and I'll say excluding the women's javelin and the race walks, they will have a medal, and maybe the marathon as well. They're going to have a
Yeah.
medal somewhere. They're going to have a medal somewhere on the track. Yeah, that's my prediction.
And I'll go men's four hurdles to be won by Dos Santos.
Okay. I mean, it's weird because it's the same track, so you're wondering like, do you go world record again?
Yeah, we know it's got world record potential.
That's what I'm tempted to say. That was what I thought about saying, but then I was like, because there'll be a crowd there, there'll be more of an atmosphere, and we know it's been done there before. And if all three of them are in shape, could do. That's
Who
a
knows?
yeah. Maybe it's I was too scared though. Maybe it's not. Maybe that is too bold. I don't know.
And then the week after that, I think this is. I can't decide if this is clever scheduling or stupid scheduling, but we've got the World Running Championships taking place on the other side of the Pacific in San Diego. It'll be interesting to see how many athletes make that journey.
So
To
there is obviously still a marathon in Tokyo, right? As the world.
yes,
So yeah, what surely you just do that, right?
yeah, but then those because the World Road Running, so that's got half marathon. Is it 5K? Because this is like
And
the what that
then
used to be the half marathon World Championships, and they've
yeah, and
adapted
they've
to
added more
like
to it. And there's the mile as well, isn't there?
yes, I think so.
As
So
we have the reigning silver medalist on the men's time. What was his name? Callum Elson, was that his name?
uh,
Someone Elson.
okay,
He got the silver last time.
and then
Um,
also peculiarly the Berlin marathons on that very same day.
Speaking of marathons, apparently on the chat, there's a new marathon major in Sydney this year. Is that
Oh,
right?
I've not added
Google
that,
that.
but
Oh, Google it. You check, and then
okay.
I'll read the next message, which is, uh, oh, I like this one. Okay, we've got predictions that Mondo, Krauser, Kipyegon, and El Bakali will pull off the Tokyo to Tokyo gold streak.
Oh,
I guess are they the only ones that are in the running for it?
um,
I think they must. I'm trying to think. They must.
was Nafi
Well,
mentioned there?
well, no, because she didn't win in Budapest, did she?
Oh, sorry, I see what. Sorry, I thought it was Tokyo Olympics, Tokyo World
No, I
Championships
mean just
as well.
everything in between.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm struggling to think of anybody else, but I'm also my attention
you
is
Google. You
divided at the
Google.
moment.
Can't
Um,
multitask. Yeah, I think that's of those four names. I think El Bakali is the most vulnerable at the moment for that not to happen.
yeah,
But you can't see Mondo losing. Krauser, I mean, maybe Fabry obviously flopped at the Olympics, but he can beat him. Um, and then Kip Yegon. Uh, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't bet against Faith, would you? Oh yeah,
no, not
they said
not after the year she's had.
there's
So if
only four left for the streakers. Katie Moon lost out in Paris. So, yeah, good point.
and the yeah, the Sydney Marathon is now on the majors. That's 31st of August. So I will add that to this list. Thanks for letting me know.
Again, that's a bit close to the worlds and whatnot, but
Yeah,
who knows?
I
Who
guess
knows?
it's sort of same part of the world. Of course, it's still a super long flight from Sydney to Tokyo, but it's still
Yeah,
like within that. I'd say like that third of the world.
I might save that prediction for Tracktastic actually. The four who's going to do the golden streak between Tokyo and Tokyo. That's good.
Yeah, your big prediction.
Okay. What's happening at the end of the year? What's the last quarter got in store for us?
So we've still got a fair few world championships. There's canoe slalom in Penrith in Australia, Chicago Marathon, one of the later majors, and then we've got two more of the championships, which I think are being held in somewhat unusual places: track cycling in Santiago de Chile and gymnastics in Jakarta.
Yeah, nice. That's a good mix. Ooh, what can I predict here? There's a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
Um, I am gonna go that I'm gonna go with the canoe slalom world championships actually, and I'm gonna go that we're gonna have both the Fox sisters on the podium at home in Australia
That doesn't feel
because
that
they could do.
bold, but fair enough.
But can they? Can they? I was going to ask, can they have two per nation at the worlds? I
I
think
d-
they can they. So the Olympics, it's only one, isn't it? But
yeah,
is it only one at the
I'm not sure
worlds?
if it has one per nation or
But
not.
then, yeah, because then was it? Yeah, I can't remember what happened in Paris because obviously
Because
Did they have two?
one of them won the canoe, sorry, the kayak cross gold.
But was that? Did they have both of them in that? I think they did. They have two in that. I can't remember now. Two per nation because I feel like they were both in it,
A kayak
but maybe
cross might
not.
be. I'm not sure, but kayak cross might be different because it's.
Because basically, the only reason Noelle Fox had never made an Olympic team was because her sister had beaten her every time to
Yeah,
making the team. So then I guess whether Jess, I can't remember. I thought they were both in it, and maybe Jess didn't make the final, and then Noelle won it. So yeah, but that's I don't know. But if that's doable, they'll both be on the podium at the same time. That's what I meant in the same race,
yeah.
the same event.
Um,
The chat's asking how many marathons will Safan run this year, and how many will she win? She's going to run one, and she's going to win one. That's my prediction.
are you thinking that's going to be World Championships, or is it
Yeah,
going to be somewhere
yeah.
else?
I'm not sure. I mean, she might do one before then, but with the way she's been the last year, she's not raced that much, so she'll just rock up at the world and run it.
Yeah. Um, just to be different, I'll say that she's going to do two and win one.
Okay, nice.
Um,
Apparently she's 3 from 4 in her marathon career so far. So yeah, she does usually win them. So
yeah. I mean, I found it hilarious when she first won the London Marathon.
yeah,
Um,
it's just the way she wins these races. It's weird.
yeah. I'm not her biggest fan, but I was like cheering her on because I was like, this would be an achievement. I'm going to make my prediction on the track cycling world championships. I'm going to say Emma Finucane for 3 golds.
Okay, 3 golds. Yeah, yeah, it'll be
Because
tough, but yeah, why not?
because
It's on the
in
in the
Paris,
realms. It's in the realms of possibility, isn't it?
yeah, of course, in Paris, Britain had a bit of a disappointing time at the track cycling. We only won the single gold medal, which was the women's team sprint, but it was the first time we'd won that, so it balances out, I
Yeah,
guess. But I think that she can. She seems hungry for more, and I could see her stepping up, coming into this new Olympiad.
okay.
And
I guess I feel bad we haven't done any gymnastics predictions, but then
okay,
it's kind of hard to know who's going to be even there. So
yeah,
I always feel like the one after the Olympics is not that well attended in gymnastics, but it's quite a long way afterwards. So
I could
maybe
I could see Andrade
just
competing.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
Also,
think she's more likely than Simone.
yeah,
So and then who knows? I don't know who of the Brits would be in shape. Hmm. You could just yeah, but then Andrade is that a safe bet as well?
but then
Yeah, I don't know.
it's. I mean, I suppose it's not too uncommon for gymnastics, but that Worlds in October, and was it April that the Europeans were? Was it May?
Yeah,
May. So it's. I do find that fascinating how they have to sort of peak in such a different way to other sports.
yeah. Yeah, okay, well maybe we'll leave that because it is a bit we don't it's too far away. It feels too far away.
Yes. Also, the fact that it's in somewhere so far from its normal, sort of the normal places where the World Championships would be held, that you don't know who's going to make that journey.
Yeah, exactly. But you feel like Andrade would make the effort because it's not too far.
I mean, I feel like it would be a long way for her from Brazil, but I'd still think that I don't know. She seems like a someone who'd try and
Yeah,
take center stage, assuming that fewer people would show up in
yeah, exactly.
Jakarta.
With it be, I guess with it being well, it is Southern Hemisphere, isn't it? I'm trying to remember whether is it Southern
Yes,
Hemisphere?
Indonesia's on the equator. I believe
Yeah,
Jakarta's south of it.
yeah.
It's
I've
the
been there,
only
but I can't remember.
it's the only country in Asia on the equator.
Yeah, okay. Then maybe. Okay. So yes, October's busy actually. Didn't realize.
Um, then November, you can pretty much focus on F1. I mean,
Yeah,
there are a few other.
I've been saving my F1 predictions for like November. I know there'll be
Um,
nothing else.
I think there is European curling tends to be around this time, but they don't tend to confirm it that far out when the dates will be or where it will be held. So um, it's not on there, and I need to remember to put it on when it's announced.
Question in the chat: any particular reason why the US isn't as good at track cycling? I think they have got better.
They definitely have. I think it's. I think it's perhaps seen as just something a bit too niche.
they've obviously had individuals that have done pretty well, but they haven't missed.
Yeah,
But then I feel like lately the teams have been doing a bit better, haven't they? But yeah,
that's a
don't know. Maybe it is too niche.
interesting. Yeah, too niche. I guess that yeah, if people think of cycling there, it's much more likely that they would just think of road cycling. And the thought then there's also quite a lack of facilities for like proper world class tracks. I know there's the one in Los Angeles. I think there's a training base in Colorado Springs. I'm not sure there's many other velodromes.
No, I'm just gonna check out how well they did in Paris. I completely forgot if they because obviously I feel like America did well in a lot of
Mm.
events 'cause with it being the last Olympics before they host it. I just want to see how well they did in cycling. I feel like they did all right. They got um, well, yeah, they won the women's team pursuit,
Okay.
which I think I did remember, and then they won the women's omnium as well. Yeah, Jennifer Valente. She was in the because obviously Chloe Dygert has been around for a while,
Mm.
so that's what I was thinking. I was thinking there's been one who's definitely been around, like, and then Valente. So the women's side have been doing great because she got the gold in the omnium, and they were fourth in the Madison as well. So she had a good. Jennifer Valente had a very good. But then that's it for the. They didn't even send a men's team, so I don't think.
That's
And obviously
peculiar.
they won. Yeah, Kristen Faulkner won the road race, and Chloe Dygert got the bronze in the time trial. So basically, those three women won all their medals in the cycling. So yeah, women are doing a great job. Men, not so much.
And
But then I guess others they're good in like all the other cycling events, aren't they? Like BMX and freestyle and all that stuff.
yeah, and I'm imagining that the likes of BMXing and skateboarding are going to be very popular sports in LA.
Yeah.
Given they very much grew up in that sort of area.
Right.
Um,
Is the F1 doesn't finish in it finishes in December, doesn't it? So I was going to
yes,
predict
the
the
final
but then
ones.
actually, do you know what? No, I'm going to go with the title being won before the last race of the season because it usually is.
Okay.
So let's go with. I reckon in the month of November we will be crowning Lando Norris as the F1 World Champion. That's my prediction.
Okay. Um,
I mean, it was close-ish this year, but next year maybe even better.
I'm I'm going to assume that the European curling will be this month because otherwise there's very little for me to comment on what I sort of know. I'm going to say Sweden to do the European double. And of course, this will be the season. This will be the Olympic season, so that will be big bragging rights
Hmm.
if so.
Actually, yeah. What I mean, we can go. Well, we may as well go December now. So I wanted to check exactly what we have in winter sports for December because there's usually like a when's like the European figure skating championships? Is that usually January? Because I know there's usually is there a Worlds as well in the same year? I think there is, isn't there?
Yeah, so
I
I
can never
think it's
remember.
January. I think I forgot to add Europeans this time, but I can add it later. Click, click, click on the keyboard. I think it's going to be in Estonia, um, in Tallinn, 28th of January to the 2nd of February.
Okay, so it's quite well late-ish, isn't it?
I suppose it's, yeah, with uh, figure skating, there's so much of the um, what's it like you'll have your programs and your set programs, so you're just sort
Yeah,
of
exactly.
working on improving them as the season progresses.
But with the
um
Olympics being quite early in 26-ish, when I don't know what they had before that. I don't know.
yeah,
There's
I'm
nothing
not sure.
basically. Is there anything in? There's nothing in December 25, is there, for Winter Olympic? What like
Unless
the
the
championships?
curling, and then we might have a few World Cups, but I don't think there's any championships. It's hard to know because a lot of winter sports seem to be like quite, especially with the smaller championships, a bit
Hmm.
stum about a lot of their events until it gets to like the summer when I forget to check. Um,
Okay, what am I going to predict for the European Cross Country Championships?
you could
Because
go
I do
European
usually.
short course. You've got options in
No, I'm going to
September.
go because I do watch the Cross Country Championships every year, and I do enjoy it. It is one of my favourite days of athletics actually, because it's just all done in like a few hours on a Sunday morning when it's nice and cold. Um, but it's kind of hard because and it's good because he usually gets big names going as well. It's in
Yeah,
Portugal, but I don't think anyone from Portugal is going to do anything. Um, it's obviously you may as well you can kind of pencil in Jakob and Batikletti for the golds
yeah.
if they're both there, which they usually are. Um, let's go. What age? What will Ines Fitzgerald be a senior by then, or has she got one more year of? Well, she'll be under 23, won't she? Um,
But depends if
I
she
mean, we
wants to
usually
step
win
up.
because that's it. You kind of think maybe she. Okay, okay. I'll say she'll either win the gold in the under 23s or she'll get a medal in the senior. That's my prediction.
Okay. We've had a question of whether Jakob will ever compete at World XCs. I guess it's if it's held somewhere a bit more convenient. It's been
Yeah,
quite last few years. It's been a bit all over the place.
yeah. I think he will. I think as he's getting, especially as he gets older, he'll want to step up in distance and do more stuff like that. And he normally does Europeans, so he does love cross country. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it'll happen. It'll happen at some point, like I say, when it's in somewhere reasonable.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him start stepping away from the likes of the 1500 soon and focusing
Yeah,
more on.
I think he might get maybe that's a prediction for the year, whether he gets the world record and then just quits the 15. Really,
Okay, well, that's interesting. The 2026 uh, World Cross Countries are going to be held in Tallahassee in Florida, and they will be on the 10th of January. So quite close to those championships, but it wouldn't like mess about with the indoor season, so we
yeah,
could
that's
basically
good.
go
That's a
there.
good scheduling and a good location as well.
Yeah,
So yeah, maybe that's the one he'll do then. Maybe that's our first prediction for this time next year.
yeah, interesting. Um, as this will be the we're looking at December 2025, so the start of the Winter Olympic season. Um, I think it's last couple of days to register for tickets, so if you haven't already, um,
I'm not sure I have actually. I need to do that. I've seen
yeah,
the emails, but I've not actually got around to it.
I've only my intention is only to go out there for a couple of days because I can't afford to bankrupt myself like I did in Paris.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. I've not really looked at it yet, but yeah, so you need to register. When does it? And then I guess it's the same as Paris. The ticket sales are just randomly on random days.
Yep. I don't know if they've worked out their system better. I've just realised I've still not made a prediction for December, and I'm
You can do the aquatics. Then you were saying I should do the European short course.
okay. So
Come on, not random, but like a, a mid-tier Brit will have a gold.
I was more thinking to say something about maybe would Daniel Whiffen do the short course?
Possibly.
I'll say yeah. I'll say at least one gold for Daniel Whiffen.
Well, you could go even bolder and go for double gold for Mona McSharry because she's quite good at the
Ooh,
short course, and she'd probably turn up for that one.
but Ireland's fittest family, don't you know?
Exactly. She can,
um,
yeah. So maybe that.
I would, but I
Just
feel
go.
like that's
I'll just go two or three. Just go three golds for Ireland. There you go.
yeah, three golds for Ireland.
He can win two. She can win one. Whatever
Yeah.
permutations.
But yeah, so that's 2025 and what we've all got to look forward to this year.
Just on the chat, Jakob to lose his fourth consecutive global 1500-meter final this year. Is that another prediction? I mean, like I said, if he gets the world record, would he even? Maybe what? He hasn't won the 15 yet, has he, at the Worlds? So
Um,
he might want it, and then he'll
yeah,
stop doing it.
but he's not. While he was sort of more suited to it in his youth, I don't think it's where his strengths lie at the moment. So
No,
yeah,
but
I'll
I think
say
he'll give it.
I could see him definitely losing that title in similar circumstances.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he will finally get it right at the Worlds.
I mean, I suppose
Maybe.
it's where he won the Olympic title in the 15.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
So maybe
Maybe it'll
lucky
happen.
track.
Yeah, maybe it's a bolder prediction to say he's going to win it.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm excited. There's lots to look forward to.
Yeah, it's been a good year. It's going to be a really good year.
But yeah, thanks for joining us for this preview stream.
Yeah, it's been fun. We've had some nice to have some questions in the chat, and yeah, it's been lots to look forward to.
Yeah, and then hopefully we'll be able to do more streams depending on what country Chris is being sent to for work.
It's America this year, I think. Nothing too wild.
And yeah, we hope to see you soon.
Yes. Goodbye.